If you've been following my reviews up to this point, you'll know that I'm a pretty big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I have been ever since I was a kid. But as I've gotten older, I've started to really appreciate some of Sega's other works. And this is the part of the video where you ask me, what other work? While yes, it is true that Sonic the Hedgehog games are Sega's main source of income, they used to be keen on making some really creative video games back when they were in the console market. Some of these cherished games include Jet Set Radio, or Jet Grind Radio if you live in the US, where you go around spray painting graffiti on structures and avoid getting captured by authorities. Super Monkey Ball, a game where you play as an encapsulated monkey attempting to complete various obstacle courses, and Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, a game where you squash enemies with a giant egg. But perhaps the most famous of all Sega's library, excluding the Blue Blow himself, is a little game called Nights into Dreams. Knights as a character will look fairly familiar to some of you, and there's a good reason for that. The person who drew the design for Knights was actually the same person who drew the character design for Sonic the Hedgehog, Naoto Oshima, and I don't think their similar features are just a sheer coincidence. While I cannot confirm this, I've heard from time to time that Knights was actually supposed to be Sonic's successor, which could explain why Yuji Naka left the series for a while to work on this game. That could also explain why there was never a true 3D Sonic platformer on the Sega Saturn. In any case, Knights' origin doesn't really matter. My job is to tell you people if this game is worth picking up. Jumping the gun a bit here, this is one of my favourite video games of all time. I mean, I love Sonic games as much as the next guy, but I'm being completely truthful when I say I would rather play Nights into Dreams over any classic Sonic game, and then some. And why is that? You will soon see. The story revolves around a world called Nightopia, where all dreams created by human beings take shape. Parallel to this world is Nightmare, a place where humanity's deepest fears rear their ugly head. The different personalities of these dreams are represented by 5 coloured orbs, referred to as Idia. However, the balance between these two worlds starts to shatter as a great evil known as Wiseman the Wicked begins to drain all of the dream energy from the sleeping visitors and uses them to take control of Nightopia. He does this in hope of taking over the real world as well. He sends 2 jesters to do his bidding, Knights and Riella, but unfortunately for him, Knights decides to abandon Wiseman in hopes of recruiting 2 kids to help him. There is a little bit of flavour text regarding the dreams and aspirations of these 2 kids, but it's not really that important in the grand scheme of things. Even in game, the plot isn't explicitly told to you, it's something you're going to need to look up in the manual or elsewhere. Meanwhile, 2 kids from the city of Twin Seeds are not having the sweetest of dreams. Elliot dreams to be the best at basketball and Clarice a world famous singer. However, their anxiety ends up getting the best of them. The 2 kids get summoned to Nightopia to stop Wiseman as they both possess the red Idia of courage. And that's pretty much it. You're not really playing Nights into Dreams for the story anyway, so I thought I'd keep it short and sweet this time. The gameplay of Nights is as follows. Both Elliot and Clarice have 3 unique levels to call their own, as well as the final level that's shared between the 2. When you're dropped into a level, all but one of your Idias will be taken from you. In order to clear each level, you need to successfully retrieve all 5 Idias and return them to the Nightopian Shrine. How you do that is by dualizing with Knights, which in layman's terms means taking control of. While flying around as Knights, you need to collect 20 blue orbs and then smack into the capsule to collect an Idia. From there you could just go back to the Idia Palace in theory, however doing so won't be very beneficial to your rank. Like in the modern Sonic games, you're given a grade determined by your overall performance. You need to get at least a C in both sets of levels if you want to reach the final level of Twin Seeds and defeat Wiseman. This is where Nights into Dreams begins to show its true colours. 7 levels might not seem like that much for a game, and in hindsight you're absolutely justified in thinking that. However, with Knights, it's more of a matter of quality over quantity. Plus 2 minutes seems like an awfully long time just to collect a single Idia, and there's a reason for that. The game tricks you into thinking that collecting the Idia is your main objective, and to a certain extent it still is. However, upon obtaining any given Idia, bonus time will be initiated. Nights into Dreams follows an arcade-style approach, in which points mean absolutely everything, and mastery of the game comes from playing the given levels over and over again. In any case, while in bonus time, the points you score here are doubled. So the goal here has changed from get the Idia to loop around the stage as quickly as possible while collecting as much stuff as you can before time runs out. You also get given a higher sum of points depending on how fast you retrieve said Idia. Each of the 4 sections are always on rails, so knowing where to go progression wise is never an issue. You just need to know where all the little knickknacks are hidden. Knights also has a drill dash move which you can use to pick up the pace, but it's very unlikely that you'll get to use it that much if you're a newbie. It's not just a matter of using the drill dash, the adrenaline rush comes from knowing where to duck and weave throughout the course so that you get the smoothest and best results. In many respects, Knights is built with the same mindset as the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games. It's not enough just to press a button and gain your speed, you have to earn it. I would not be surprised if gamers had a similar reaction to when they play Green Hill Zone for the first time. In fact, I'm willing to admit that both Sonic and Knights are an acquired taste. Not everyone is going to see what makes them truly shine. I've noticed compared to a lot of Mario platformers, at least the early ones anyway, the Sonic the Hedgehog games are usually pretty short, but to compensate, they're a lot harder depending on how you play. In many other platformers, it's just a case of using your given tools to react to things appropriately in a given situation. You know right away what your challenge is and how to complete it. Sonic and Knights seem to hark back to Sega's days as an arcade developer. Heck, they're the only company that actually makes me give a damn about points. In the case of Nights into Dreams, and to some extent Sonic the Hedgehog, the camera is more focused on your character so you can perfect each and every movement. Nowhere is this more apparent with Nights' power loop technique. By going a full 360 degrees, you'll collect any item inside your power loop. The controls are one-to-one, and some may even consider them overly sensitive. However, once you begin to learn the intricacies of each trick and you've mastered Knights' type movements, then it's almost as if you yourself have dualized and become one with Knights. Once bonus time is activated, it almost becomes a completely different game. Knights being a jester is actually very appropriate. It's almost as if the game has tricked you into missing your true objective. I suppose we've been trained to just get the shiny object and call it a day. In truth, with Nights into Dreams, you get as much as you're willing to put in. You can get through by doing the bare minimum, but you'd be doing yourself and this game a massive disservice. Give it a little bit of time and I know Nights will grow on you. The best tip I can give is not to overuse the drill dash too much. There are tokens you can collect to refill it completely, but if you're not careful you'll end up coming to a dead halt because you've used too much of it. There's that, and while dashing, Nights doesn't control all that smoothly. Nights in my eyes is very much like a car. When you're going down an open road you can afford to speed things up a little. However, if you want to take a turn, or in this case collect some items, then you're going to need to change gears and slow down a little bit. You can refill your boost meter by going through these rings. I should also note that the higher your link combo, the more boost will be refilled. The world of Nightopia is very welcoming, if a bit bombastic. I have no idea why this is, but whenever I play a level in Nights, I just feel really good inside. I am not afraid to say that this world is beautiful. It's the perfect combination of weird and wonderful. My favourite level in this game being Soft Museum, where, as you would have guessed, everything is soft and bouncy. Watching Knight spring up and down as if he was a trampoline fills me with joy and satisfaction. These levels have no rhyme or reason to them, and yet I love them so much. It's really hard to convey to somebody just how much I love the presentation in Knights without them having played it. The game is this very juvenile as well as harmonious feel to it, which is supposed to reflect the dreams that we had as children on a day-to-day basis. What accompanies each level are some of the best songs I've heard in any video game. Not to repeat myself, but this soundtrack really is a thing of beauty. Take a listen. Unfortunately, for every heaven there's a hell that comes with it, and in this case, it's the boss fights. Jackal pisses me off with his playing cards because it always seems like they hit you even when you're nowhere near him. Claws left me stumped on my first playthrough. You have these fireworks and you're supposed to hit the ones that are lit. It took me forever to figure that out as you only have 10 seconds to find the lit firework. The first time I beat this guy was by complete accident. Even Riella, that guy you know from Sonic and Sega All-Stars, isn't that great of a boss. In fact, all I did on my first playthrough is just power loop to win, and there you go. You want to try and beat the bosses as fast as you can, as the remaining time goes towards a point multiplier. Now you know why bosses like Claws annoyed me. There's trial and error, and then there's giving me absolutely no conveyance as to what I'm supposed to do. As for Jackal, you lose 5 seconds every time you get hit, as well as all your momentum, which pissed me off. Other than that, this is a game I adore from start to finish. This review may seem a bit short and somewhat lacking in terms of length, but I see that as yet another positive for Nights into Dreams. It's the definition of easy to learn, hard to master, and as long as you're willing to be patient, I think this game will be of your liking. What can I say, sometimes it's just nice to play a short, simple game with a rich and vibrant world. Nights into Dreams is a game that proves inspiration and charm is more effective than hyping a big budget game with nothing to show for it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This is a very special game to me and I just thought I'd share it with you. In the meantime, I've got a few other big projects I've got to work on, meaning that I don't know when I'll get a chance to make another one of these reviews. However, when I do get back to these series of videos, I'll be playing a game that I've been conflicted about for a long time now. Ladies and gentlemen, next time we meet, we're going to be looking at The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.